It is my deepest belief that self-care in the form of equipping oneself with the right personal and professional development tools is anything but indulgent. Self-care involves prioritizing one's well-being. It is a comprehensive concept which, if practiced correctly, enhances our relationships with ourselves, others, and our immediate environment. With this new series, Wellness Wednesdays with Minorities in STEM, I hope to challenge the norm with the audacious notion that to succeed, you have to take utmost care of yourself, intellectually, socially, spiritually, and physically, first, before anything else, particularly amongst us minorities. And with that, I would like to introduce my first guest, Emma Louden. Emma, can you please give me a small introduction about yourself?
Yeah, so a short, quick intro just for who I am as a person. I am originally from Utah. I'm currently a grad student. I am most comfortable and happiest when I'm in the mountains, hiking, skiing, or star watching, and I would do just about anything for really good chocolate.
Amazing. Okay, so my second question for you is, what is your specific STEM interest? Why did you choose the STEM path that you did? Um, and then adding on to that, in what specific ways do you want your work in STEM to make a difference? And how has your specific school or combination of schools in research helped to manifest this interest?
Yeah, so I majored in astrophysics in undergrad, and I'm currently getting my PhD in astrophysics. I discovered this path when I was in high school and then was able to pursue it in college. And while in undergrad, I sort of took two different paths with STEM. I really embraced astrophysics research, and at Princeton, the research that is available for undergraduates there enabled me to learn a lot about planets outside of the solar system and to study those. And that really helped me gain awareness for just how lucky we are to get to be alive on this planet here and how rare planets like Earth are. And that awareness was then matched with learning about the aerospace industry through the Brooke Owens Fellowship, and combined together to help. My goal with my work is to help people understand how lucky we are to be on this planet and to use the advancement of human knowledge here to preserve and protect this planet, and then also develop through the space industry an equitable and just future of space exploration. Um, my the schools and the research have are what really got me there. The internship also through Brooke Owens, I just can't say enough good things about that fellowship and the community that it brings. I mean, that's how I met you. And I think altogether that brings the values of creating a future in space that's um, able to correct for a lot of the mistakes that we see on Earth today, but also using space to bring awareness to how lucky we are and how we do have to also fix all of the inequities and injustices that we see here today.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Thank you for sharing that. I think we unpacked, yeah, a lot of that. And can you speak a little specifically to just the schools that you went to again and just the specific research that you did, both in undergrad and now in grad school? Like you can just like read off either your thesis from undergrad and your potential thesis for your PhD work.
Yeah, so in undergrad, I was doing research with looking at characterizing exoplanets. So I was looking at taking two planets and looking at how we can increase our accuracy and precision of measurements of things like mass and radius with new data from telescopes like TASS and Gaia. And while it may seem kind of like a small thing to do that for two planets, it's really essential to do that broadly for the whole population of planets, because my research was showing that you can change by orders of magnitude the error and things like that. And if we're going to do planetary demographics, then we have to have really precise and accurate measurements for these planets. And then my thesis in undergrad was looking at how planetary systems are aligned or misaligned. So in our solar system, the plane that the planets orbit on is really pretty flat, and it's about 90 degrees from the orbital axis that the sun spins around. But that's not the case in other systems. So I was looking at how common is it for the sun to be tilted in relation to that plane that the planets are on, and what does that mean about how planetary systems form? And then I'm continuing doing exoplanet research in grad school, and I am working with a instrument called Express, which is a spectrometer, and it's measuring basically like the wobble of stars as planets go around them. And the whole idea is to be able to deconstruct what is um, things that are internal to the star that would cause us to look like wobble versus what is actually a planet, so that we can get better at detecting exoplanets.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I feel like I didn't know that about you. I like didn't specifically knew what you studied, which is really exciting. And I think this helps us transition really well into really the reason that, oh my gosh, Tara's here. Hi, Tara. Um, it helps us to kind of transition into the reason that I wanted to have you on, which is talking about both the Passion Planner and the Handel Coaching Group. And let's start with the Passion Planner first. So with your research and with just going to like attending Princeton and now Yale, seems to be really time consuming and may involve things like imposter syndrome for minorities in STEM. So the combination of this like challenging topic that is like really exciting with who we tend to be in the rooms doesn't necessarily always help us, or like isn't necessarily always in our favor. And I really feel like you've been able to use the Passion Planner to your advantage, and you've been able to really leverage that to really address these issues. And now maybe they aren't like issues that you really face like that anymore, or aren't a problem in your head. So yeah, I would love to talk about, well, first, when you began using your Passion Planner, what it is, how you were kind of introduced to it, and then kind of transition into why your specific system of like having multiple ones works, and like what your specific combination is.
Yeah, so I found the Passion Planner about a year ago on Twitter. I saw someone using it, and I went and read more about the company and was really enthralled, because the whole idea behind the Passion Planner is that you start by making a map of your goals for 1 month, 3 months, 1 year, and then like life goals. And then every week in the Passion Planner is a spot to say like, this is what my focus for the week is. And every month you get to break down and take a part of your big map and say, I want to do this month, and then break it down yet again to weekly and even daily goals. And for me, research is really a long game. It's not something that you're done with in weeks or even months. It can take a really, really long time. And it's also something that where failure is an important part of it, but that doesn't make it any less devastating when it happens. And when you combine that with imposter syndrome, it can be really daunting to continue. So for me, having the Passion Planner to be able to look and say, I want to do this in this amount of time, and these are the steps I'm going to go and do it. And then at the end of the month, there's a reflection part where you go back and you say, what did I learn this month? What did I accomplish? What do I want to work on in the next month? And having that sort of check-in and accountability for myself built into the planner really helped, because it helped me see the progress even when I didn't necessarily feel it. So I have started to use 2 Passion Planners. They have a lot of different kinds, but I use the weekly, and then I also use the daily planner. So the weekly is dated, and it's got monthly spreads and then weekly spreads. And that's where I can keep my whole schedule and what I'm doing in a given week. And it's where I keep my big mind map of goals. But then the small one I use to really break down exactly what I need to do on a day-to-day basis to reach the goals and accomplish them in the timeframes that I set for myself.
Do you happen to like have them with you right now?
I have the weekly one with me right here.
Okay,
And
do you mind like just like opening it and like showing the like opening layout for like people that like may not know what it is, because it's
yeah,
just been like a tool that maybe is widely known, but like I love the fact that you use like both and the way you do it.
yeah. So this is, you create like your passion roadmap at the front of it, and you have the different spots for the different timelines. And then every month, let's see, I can find, so for like the month of September, this was my like, this is the one thing I want to accomplish. These are like 4 things that I need to, that are like part of it that I want to do. And then every week you can break it down, and there's a like focus for that particular day or whatever. And you can, or for that particular week, and then you can break it down by day. Each day has like a today's focus box. And for me, that really helps me, because it gives me like, if I accomplish this today, then I am 1 step closer to my goal.
Okay, and then what about the game changer like goals and how they kind of like are on every page? Like how has that specifically helped you in like achieving things in like class or like in your personal life?
So the game changer goals are really helpful for me because they've helped me with projects that aren't necessarily part of my coursework, and especially with research where you're sort of um, need to be really disciplined and be on your own timeline because there are fewer check-ins and things like that the way there are in structured coursework. They've helped me finish up two of the projects from undergrad and get them all the way to publication. I really would credit the Passion Planner with like giving me the steps and the accountability to myself to keep that going, and also to do other projects. I'm a part of the Space Generation Advisory Council, and I am able to stay involved with like tasks for that and other like Ask a Brookie. Those sort of game changer goals also are related to the other things I do outside of school, and they help me stay accountable to those tasks.
Amazing. Okay, let me see. So I think this might be like a good time to switch to kind of the Handel coaching, and um, I'll just start with like, okay, can you tell me like what it is? How can someone find them? And then kind of transition into how it's benefited you.
Yeah, so I found the Handel group this August through a workshop that the Office for Career Services hosted. I had never heard of them. I'd never really heard of life coaching.
And
But I went,
this is at Yale.
yeah, so yeah.
Okay.
And I went to this event, and it was a like design your semester event, and it was run by one of their coaches, and they introduced this tool called Inner You that the Handel group has because they're a life coaching company. So they do coaching for students, but also for just people in general, and also like executives and companies. And they have a tool online that sort of combines all of the method of it, but you don't have to be able to like pay for a coach every week or commit to doing time with a coach every week, but you get to work through the method at your own pace with audio and with assignments and accountability buddies. And I really was impressed with it. I was impressed with how detailed everything was and with how it focused on really designing the life, the semester, the year that you want. And that sold me, and I've started to use their online system, and it's really, and this is transitioning to the other question, but it's really helped me to very clearly lay out what I want in different areas of my life.
Can you tell me a little bit about Lauren Zander's like apprehension towards like lying and how she wants everyone on the platform to keep these like promise trackers and what that's meant for you?
Yeah, so the Handel method is really about like personal integrity is what they've coined and branded. And it's based upon having your dreams and your 12 areas of life that you want to achieve, and then being really honest and having integrity with yourself and with other people. And they define personal integrity as like, I don't remember the exact definition, but basically like working toward your dreams and having all parts of your body and mind and spirit like aligned with those dreams. And part of that is being really honest with people, being honest with yourself and like what's holding you back, and hearing the voices in your head that are stopping you, and then setting promises for yourself like, I'm going to do this, and if I don't, this is the consequence. Because what they've found in their research is that humans are really bad at just like holding up promises if you don't tell somebody else, or so like we're good at promises to other people, but we're not good at promises for ourselves, or having a consequence that's something that will make you want to do your promise.
Yeah, oh my gosh. And then can you tell me a little bit more about dream writing and just the kind of like colorful language that they encourage so that we can really dig deep into the stuff that we want and like express it in the most vibrant way possible, if only for ourselves.
Yeah, so this is what like really sold me on the method to begin with, because I was fascinated by the idea of having a dream for different areas of my life, because they define 12 areas, and the first module of the whole program is to write out dreams for every one of the 12 areas of your life. And that is such an eye-opening exercise, because oftentimes I feel like we have dreams for our career or we have dreams for our relationship with self, but we don't think about, oh, what is my dream for community, or what is my dream for spirituality, and how do all of these pieces mesh together. So the idea of making very short, very concise, but full of positive language and really like what you want, and where you read the dream and you get goosebumps, is the whole idea. And that's such a powerful exercise to do, because it really forces you to say like, this is what I want. And then you step back and say, okay, what's between me and achieving that?
Did you feel like nervous at all when you articulated the dreams for the various like facets of life, like pen to paper or like fingertips to like keyboard. Did it kind of like feel scary or like were you nervous like looking at what you'd written, like taking a step back away from it? Like did it feel like too big or did you ever feel smaller or like was there anything ever like that?
Absolutely. So I found it to be a really interesting process to go through because it made me realize how much I maybe dream about things, but then hold back when I actually want to articulate those dreams. And I think that's one of the things for me as a woman in STEM, I get messages just through various ways that I can't do it or my like just don't go for it. But it was really empowering to sit down and write those dreams and be like, this is what I want and I can do it. And to have that ambition, which is like definitely thought of as a dirty word oftentimes for women, but for me, it was an incredibly scary, like you said, but also really empowering to write it down and to see that those dreams on paper and to have people to talk about it with. Like that's one of the things that's really special about our friendship is that we can share those dreams and that keeps us then accountable to each other about it. So that's like living this out in day-to-day life.
I love that. Okay, so for my last two questions, can you tell me either about your morning routine, night routine, or both? And just like being in STEM sometimes makes us feel like the problem set that we're doing or like going to office hours or like things like that are like the most important thing. And sometimes it's like easy to like neglect the other things that like can make us better. So yeah, tell me about like your ideal routine and then things that help you bounce back when you fall off track.
Yes. So I definitely have ideals versus reality. And like sometimes the world and like life just gets in the way and the routines don't necessarily happen the way I would want them to. But my ideal routine for the mornings, I meditate when I get up, and then I try and stay off my phone for the first hour, hour and a half that I'm up. I exercise, and then I got really into doing tea this winter and this fall, and having like really good cups of tea in the morning as a like wake up for the world, and then later on turning on my phone, doing email, and then getting going on the day. I will admit during things like finals, exercise falls off the track, even though it shouldn't. That should be priority, but life happens, gets in the way. But for me, bouncing back really comes from realizing that I feel off when I'm not doing the things that I need to do to take care of my body. And then I just don't perform as well in school and research. And when I can step back and have that awareness, then I'm like, okay, I got to get back in this. And for the night routines, like you said, it's can really hard in STEM, like to feel like problem sets and things like that are like the super, super priority. One of the things I try and do is set a like hard cutoff for myself at night where my email goes off, my computer closes, and that's just it for the night. And I can lay out what I need to do for the next day in my planner and set out what I'm going to accomplish the next day, and then step back from the day and be like, okay, I'm done. Spend time talking to friends and family, take a deep breath, and then rest and be ready for the next day. But again, life gets in the way sometimes, and sometimes you end up till midnight working on problem sets, but then bouncing back and realizing, oh yeah, sleep is really important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so for my last question, it is what does wellness mean to you? And with the combination of the Passion Planner with the Handel Coaching group, what does it mean to you now that you use this, and how or what are the spillover effects to just your work and research at Yale?
So for me, wellness means kind of tying into the routines, having an awareness of just both your mind and your body and like how rested you are, how engaged you are, and having the ability to step back and reset when something feels off. The one of the lights of 2020 for me has been finding these kind of resources that have helped me be more aware of myself and more aware of how all the different parts of my life should align, because if you're out of alignment in one area, then it's going to spill over into other areas. So just having that connection and being able to step back and, like you said at the very beginning, how taking care of yourself and wellness, it is not indulgent, it's essential. And especially when you are in rooms where you're not necessarily always welcome or things like that, you have to be able to step back and take care of yourself first, and then be able to be fully present in your engagement with work and research and life.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Thank you so much for being on the same page with me and just like being here to share these thoughts, because these are things that we've like had chats about like all year long. But I kind of realized how like maybe not everyone's like having these conversations, and that it could be meaningful to share. And so talking to you just kind of feels like I'm talking to myself because I like agree with like all of these things, but there's definitely moments when like I find it hard to like get back on track and like stay on track because everything feels like it is the most important thing. And I hope to like everyone that's like tuned in now or like watches this a week or a month or like 5 years later, I hope this is like valuable to you too. And Emma, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for being on.
Thank
I'm just like
you.
I'm really happy with like the length of this. I hope everyone was like engaged the whole time. I definitely was with my cup of coffee. But yeah, with that, I kind of like just wanted to say goodbye and say thank you one more time. Do you have
Well,
any like closing thoughts?
thank you so much for having me. I am so excited about these Wellness Wednesdays and watching this whole thing just develop. It's so exciting to see. And like you said, it's so fun to see like these chats that we've had just getting shared. So thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna X out of this. Have a lovely day.
You too.
Bye.